Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Proun. Is that the way you pronounce it? I have no idea. It could be, certainly. It's a game by someone whose name I also cannot pronounce. And a scary name. Incredibly scary name. I'll give it a try. See if I can get it right. It is by a man called Joost van Dongen. He doesn't have a company name, he's just Joost van Dongen. And this game is actually being sold with a pay-what-you-want model, which includes, I might add, not paying anything at all, but you get bonuses if you pay, and obviously, if you pay, you are less of a scumbag. So this is an abstract racing game. It's got a single-player mode, it's got high scores, it's got a ghost function, as well as 4-player split screen. So, let's kick it off and find out exactly what's going on. So there are 4 speed levels available right here. As you can see, there's also a single race and time trial. Fast, Sonic, Supersonic, and Speed of Light. See how quick it is. Alright. 21 points to win the championship, so here we go. Now, apparently this has got some very, very easy keys. WAS and D and Shift to boost. And here we go. So, the idea of this one is that you're racing through these weird abstract courses, and needless to say, you are also trying to dodge as many things as possible coming in. I've got to say, if this is the slow mode, then I am kind of terrified to see what the other mode is. Because this is actually moving quite quickly, and this is the slowest of 4. So what you've got to try and do is angle the ball as you're racing around the track. It's got a bit of a Trackmania vibe to it. And try and dodge as many of these things as you can to try and stay ahead. I'm currently in second place, which is not the most amazing thing in the world. I'll try and recharge my boost right here. You see it's got a very abstract theme to it. God damn. It's also kind of terrifying. It's got an extremely abstract theme in terms of the tracks, but it certainly adds an awful lot to it. By the looks of it, you can't fall off the tracks. You seem to be stuck to the track in one way or the other. But you are trying to dodge as many of these things as possible, which does take quite a lot of practice. I can only imagine the 4-player split screen would be fairly hairy as well. As far as I'm aware, this doesn't have gamepad support, but it might. To be fair, you really don't need it, and it's very much a whole WAS and D and shift and why do I keep hitting these things kind of game. Forward right here. You'll also notice that we have some smooth jazz going on in the background, which is good to add to pretty much any game as far as I can tell. Let's get the boost on and try and catch up. I'm doing absolutely terribly on my first experience of Proun right now. The Proun gives me the frown. It's a rhyme, so it's funny, folks. Laugh, damn it! Oh, God. Come on. I can't lose my first race. That will be incredibly embarrassing. Although I have a feeling it's going to end up that way anyway. I've got to say, I really, really like the graphic style of this game, just in the case of how unique it is. You don't get to see games that look like this a lot of the time. Admittedly, I've got to say also that the abstract style of the tracks does sometimes make it a little bit tricky to see exactly where you should be, since you're trying to avoid hitting anything that slows you down, and you're going through all sorts of crazy nonsense on the way, like that, and it's very, very easy to simply end up crashing into something, but I have a feeling that's more due to my lack of skill than any actual problems with the game. Aside from that, though, this seems incredibly fun. This game has actually got a lot of buzz over the last couple of days, particularly since Rock Paper Shotgun decided they wanted to cover it, which is always a good thing. The impression coming out of Rock Paper Shotgun was, are you stupid, buy this game, you know? And if you don't buy it, then you're kind of dumb, if you like things like this. And I can, of course, see why you would. Now, there seems to be a boost bar at the bottom. I'm not sure how exactly I managed to charge that up. I think it might have something to do with... Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You charge up boosts by not hitting things. So, if you don't suck, you get boosts. If you do suck, well, you don't. So, no blue shell nonsense right here. 3rd place finish from the first one. Not exactly the best thing I've ever seen, but hey. I'll try some more maps out on this, I think. Try a few more tracks. So this is extremely enjoyable. Type your name into the high score list. I don't know if I want to, because that's a kind of a bad score. Oh, why? Every time I see these games that have a limit of either 8 or 10 characters on that one. Yes, I managed to end in the 11,885. Yeah, that's not amazing. I think I can probably do much, much better than that. I did better today. I ended 4,889th. Fairly embarrassing. Alright, this one looks a little bit prettier. Let's give that one a shot. I don't know how many tracks there really are in this. It's very hard to talk about value for money on a game like this because you can actually pay whatever you want for it. So I think the minimum donation is something like $2, maybe $3. And this is all bought through this guy's website. So it won't let you donate any less than that because, well, they probably saw what happened with the Humble Indie Bundle with people donating 1 cent, which is, of course, incredibly scummy. I don't know why you'd want to do something like that. Because, of course, it ends up costing them more in administration fees and bandwidth than anything else, which is an absolutely terrible thing to do. Why would you do something like that? I think the whole pay-what-you-want system highlights 2 things. 1, how awesome some people are, and 2, how terrible some people are. I really shouldn't have actually boosted there. No, God. Hit the side. Hit the side! Not very good at Proun. In fact, terrible at Proun. But it is so much fun to play, though. I can't really overemphasize just how enjoyable it is. It's a very nice, simple game. It's one of the kind of thing that I would expect to see on a mobile device, maybe. It could work. This on a gyrometer would be ridiculous. I think you'd end up dropping your phone after about 30 seconds of trying to hideously contort your arms to be able to play this properly, but I could see it working on a motion control system to some degree. But it seems to work just fine with as a keyboard. In fact, just keyboard. I have to wonder, actually, if it would be better on an analog stick, because then you'd have a little bit more precise control over the actual speed that you tend to do things, but it still seems to be alright, you know? I don't have a problem with handling it at all. And there's a weird sense of abstract beauty to the actual tracks. The design is something that you really haven't seen before, which is always good to see. The choice of swing and smooth jazz and things like that is fantastic as well. I don't think I've enjoyed the soundtrack to a racing game this much since the original Wipeout. Maybe Roll Cage, I suppose. Yeah, we can go with Roll Cage as well, but still, you get the point. This has an absolutely fantastic soundtrack to it. It's always good to see that there are some indie developers who are not sacrificing the obvious things in an effort to save some money. And of course, sound design is often one of those things, and it's understandable. It really, really is understandable that indie devs would choose to do that, but in this case, it looks like this guy's brother actually did the soundtrack. That's some member of the family. They had the same last name, whose name I'm not even going to try and pronounce. Because, you know, I'm not crazy like that. Okay, come on. I need to try and gain on these guys. I'm not doing so well at the minute. Oh, I'm in first. Fantastic. This is what I'm talking about. Now, this game sadly does not feature any kind of online multiplayer. It does have local split screen for 4 players, which is kind of neat. But it does also have the ghost mode, and it's got all the time trial stuff, and most of the competitive nature of this game seems to be dealt with the high scores. It's very interesting to see high scores actually making a return in a legitimate fashion outside of, say, Gamerscore. That's a very intriguing thing to me. Obviously, it's a very old-school way of judging just how good you happen to be at a game. And my god, I damn you, red globby ball thing. Still a good lap time. Let's see how well I actually did on that one. It's looking pretty good so far. Give it again with a high score server. There we go, I finished 8,180th. I think somehow I'm going to have to practice a little bit more on that one. I have 12 points. I need 21 points to actually win, so I think we can unlock the next championship. So let's keep going, and we'll see what the next championship is like in terms of speed. Then we'll have a look at single race and time trial, and then we can come up with a conclusion on this particular title, which, if you haven't already realized, I'm enjoying a hell of a lot. And it's very difficult to criticize value for money on a game that, technically, doesn't have to cost anything. But I still think that if you are going to pick up a game like this, you really should be paying a reasonable amount for it. If you want to know how much I did, I put down $15, which I thought to me was reasonable. Maybe a little more than I would have paid, but I like the abstract nature of the game, and I want to support games that actually have this graphic style and actually make a decent game out of it as well. I think more often than not, you find very, very pretentious titles that are, oh, well, we have a very artsy style, yes. We have this style. You probably wouldn't have heard of it. It's called Art Nouveau a la indie with a side of creme fraiche. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that kind of nonsense. But this I can get behind because it makes sense. It's not cluttered. It's very, very clean. And it also actually conveys the sense of speed more so than you might think. I think maybe it's just because of the nature of the objects in this game that you can get a real amount of speed going. And this is only the first level of speed. I actually cannot imagine how crazy the next level's going to be. in that regard. Oh yeah, get up some good speed right there. There we go. Oh yes, looking good. Styling. I don't think this was the right time to boost. God damn it. Yeah, let's not do that. That sounds like a bad idea. But yeah, once you actually get used to this, it is really, really good. It's got a great feel to it. A lot of fun. I think I'd probably play this quite a bit, actually, because of how compelling the racing really is. It's not just a case of being a completionist. It's like, well, this is a racing game where the racing is really fun. Kind of like Trackmania is, which is why people continue to play Trackmania after several years. Hell, Trackmania still has a freaking competitive scene, for God's sake. 'Tis true. 'Tis true. Oh yeah, there's some boosting speed on here. Oh yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, there we go. Another speed on that. Try and keep in first place. It would be nice to actually finish this first, because this might get me through to the next round and through to the next tournament. Yes, we'll find out one way or the other. No mini-maps, no rear-view mirrors on this one. Just concentrate on the road as much as humanly possible, and if you get motion sick, this game might do you in just a little bit. Okay, we're doing pretty well for the moment. Smooth jazz is the fuel for my vehicle. Come on. More. A bit of speed down here. Oh, that was dumb, wasn't it? No, get back here, orange glob. You will not take this championship from me. It's not going to happen. Fantastic. Okay, now into the... whatever the hell these things are. The orange spiky doom things. Dodge that. It's like, yeah, I'm going to dodge that. I'm going to be awesome. I'm going to do a bit of slalom right here. I'm going to look fantastic for the stream. No! Of course. Oh, damn it. Orange ball needs to get the hell back here. Oh, I'm going to come in second again, aren't I? Typical. Sodding hell. Evidently, I needed more practice at Proun. I wouldn't say that it's trickier than it looks, because it actually looks pretty hard because of the speed you go through, but once you really get into the swing of things, it's easy to avoid most of the things. That's not bad. I failed the championship. I am now sad. So, you then have single race and time trial. Unfortunately, you have to win the fast championship to unlock the next speed, so I can't really show that to you as much as I would like to. But we can come up with a nice little conclusion on Proun. This is a fairly short WTF Is video, simply because I think you see what Proun has to offer within the first 10 minutes, and then you figure out whether or not you actually want to play Proun. And if I were to give an opinion on it, I have to say I definitely want to play more of Proun. It's really, really awesome. I should also point out that there are user-created tracks. You can actually design your own stuff, and it's highly moddable. So I think this game does have a reasonable future. I don't know how competitive it will really get, but I do like the racing model an awful lot. And while it is a little Spartan, certainly, it's certainly got a very sparse environment to it, and it's simple, you know, it's a racing game broken down to the very core of what a racing game actually is, which is traveling at high speeds, trying to dodge objects, and beating everybody else, and that is all there is to it. You don't need to add cars, you don't need to add craziness in the background, you just need abstract, colourful shapes, a ball, some pipes, some speed, and a nice smooth jazz soundtrack. So I have to say, why would you not give Proun a try? Go and check it out, folks. You can check out the site in the description below this video. That will give you a link to it. It is only available from the guy's site, and it is the pay what you want model. I would encourage anyone that does decide to pick this one up, please do actually pay something for it. It's only fair to help these guys out. They have done an absolutely stellar job by the looks of it with this particular title, and I hope to see more from them. My name has been TotalBiscuit, and that was a look at Proun. I'll see you next time.